In the modern day, we have more tools than we've ever had before. We've got access to the internet, we've got access to social media, we've got access to all of the information that we could ever need to achieve whatever we want to achieve. AI is accelerating at a rapid pace, which is giving us a massive competitive advantage right now. But yet, men are stuck. Men are struggling to find the drive to go out there and achieve the things that they want to achieve. You know, men are struggling to put down TikTok, stop scrolling for a second, put down the video games, stop watching porn every day. Like, we've got so many distractions around us that the world is becoming very difficult to navigate. It's becoming very difficult to focus in a world full of distractions. Now, I know this for a fact because 5 years ago, I was 19 years old. I hated my job, and I can't put a big enough emphasis on hated my job at the Amazon warehouse. So all I could do is on the bus home from Amazon, just try and distract myself. I'll just be scrolling on Instagram, scrolling. Can't wait to get home. Get home, crack open a dark foods, turn on my laptop, start sweating away on GTA or on Smite or some sort of video game, pointless video game to distract myself. A break, end of the day, I deserve it, a little rest. But all that was happening is I was keeping myself stuck. I was programming my brain to seek dopamine from fake sources of joy, fake sources of pleasure, fake sources of dopamine that are designed to keep you consumed and distracted and prevent you from achieving your highest potential. Fast forward 5 years from now, with everything that I'm going to talk about in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how in 5 years I've transformed my life completely. I've taken myself from broke to being able to retire my mother, to pay off my stepdad's mortgage, to paying my best friend a full-time salary to work for me in my company and making over 40k a month at 23 years old. 5 years ago, I was broke. 5 years ago, I didn't have £1,000 to my account. And I've been able to do that in 5 years. In the last 5 years, I've also built my dream physique. I've been able to win a British boxing title in unlicensed boxing. I've been able to create my dream life where I can travel the world freely. Next month, me and my girlfriend, we're going to Thailand and I'm going to have a professional Muay Thai fight just for the dad law. I've been able to create all of this from everything that I'm going to talk to you about in this video because it's all about understanding how to use your biology to your advantage, how to put your brain onto your team rather than on Satan's team trying to keep you at the lower version of yourself. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to understand dopamine. Dopamine is everything. Dopamine is the number one thing that changed my life by rewiring my dopamine system. So what is dopamine? People get this wrong. People think like dopamine is produced like as after like achieving something, as the result of doing something, but instead, dopamine is the neurotransmitter responsible for feeling motivated to do something. From like, if you brush your teeth in the morning, you probably feel like a little bit of motivation to do that because you think you need to. In order to eat food, your brain needs to produce a little bit of dopamine to make you want to actually do the thing and eat food, otherwise you'd die. So dopamine is the neurotransmitter that is responsible for us actually doing things. Now you can see automatically why this is so important, because if you don't have a healthy dopamine system, then you're not going to have motivation to actually do things that are going to benefit your life. And that's the problem. The problem is right now that we've got so many high stimulating things to do. Our brain is producing so much dopamine towards the things that are bad for us rather than the things that are good for us. If we think about all of the things that we know are bad for us and holding us back in life right now, what are they? It's scrolling social media. It's designed to be addictive. It's designed to produce as much dopamine as possible. All of the colors, all of the short form videos, the hooks. The average viewer retention per video on Instagram is 1.5 seconds. It's literally, it's a dopamine matrix. Video games. You know I can tell you firsthand that I could easily get consumed in a video game for 4 hours straight and forget that I was even a real functioning living human being in the process. I'd be so consumed in the video game for 4 hours straight that I'd forget that the real world existed. I'd forget that I need to eat. I'd forget that I need to drink. I'd forget that I need to go to the toilet because I'm so consumed in a video game. It's a dopamine matrix. Things like Pornhub. Again, it's fake dopamine. You're like they've designed this system in a way to make you think that you're getting real life relationships when you're really just watching pixels on a screen. All of these things are designed to be so dopamine producing that your brain is now only focused on these things rather than the things that are going to accelerate you forward. So it's time for the hard truth. You need to cut it out completely. When I look back to my progress over the last 5 years, it definitely wasn't a case of gradually trying to quit these things, because I tried it. I tried the whole balance thing. Though, if your mates are kind of degenerate and you're hanging around bad circles, the thing that's going to happen is, because it's going to be so normal to you that everyone else is scrolling, everyone else is playing video games, everyone else is banging the club every Friday and every Saturday and sometimes even on a Wednesday. It's going to seem so normal to you that you're just going to kind of accept that this has to be a part of your life and you need balance. Well, the truth is, balance is bullshit. I tried to do the whole thing of like, okay, well, I'll only drink sometimes and I'll only play video games sometimes, maybe an hour a day. But the problem is, when you give your brain access to such an easy source of dopamine once per day, that's all your brain's going to be thinking about. Your brain is just a one big crackhead for dopamine. It will do whatever it got to do to get that dopamine, and a winner always finds a way to win. A crackhead mentality is a crackhead will always find a way to get crack. If your brain knows at 9 p.m. you're going to experience more dopamine than anything else that you do in a day because you're going to spend an hour playing FIFA, all day, all your brain's going to think about is playing FIFA. It definitely isn't going to focus on your goals and accelerating your life forward. So the harsh truth is, if you really want to achieve things in life, you have to be willing to make sacrifices. And it's a question that I get all the time. Well, what sacrifices do you have to make to get successful? This is the sacrifice. You have to sacrifice all of the things that give you immense amounts of pleasure, but don't accelerate your life forward. But if you really want to think about it, it's like you're going to sacrifice a worse life for a better one, so it can hardly be considered a sacrifice. So let's start rebuilding that life together. Let's start rewiring our dopamine system to actually be able to achieve a massive transformation in your life over the next 5 years, the same way that I did. Now, step number 1 is we need to understand what our goals are. Because without goals, without a bigger picture, our brain is not going to know what we're producing dopamine for. We get dopamine from doing something. And ideally, in order to produce a lot of dopamine every day from doing healthy activities, your brain needs to know why it's doing it. Your brain knows that you're eating food to survive. Your brain needs to know that you're waking up early, you're putting yourself through voluntary suffering, you're going to the gym, you're reading the books, you're working on your side hustle. Your brain needs to know why in order to produce dopamine towards those things. So get very, very clear. 5 years from now, what do you want your life to look like? And the more detail that you can go into this, the better. I did this. I said in 5 years from now, I want to have a feminine girlfriend, someone that respects me and that I can fully provide for. I need to be making enough money to be able to provide for my girlfriend and be able to provide for my mother, and be able to provide for my brother, my stepdad and my friends around me. I know I needed enough money to do that. So how much money do you need to make to do that? 10k a month is when people usually start off. They usually start off saying my goal is 10k a month. My goal was 5k a month 5 years ago. And 1 year later, I was already making 5k a month for an appointment set. You need to get clear on where do you want to live? What car do you want to drive? What do you want your dream life to look like? And not someone else's dream life. What do you genuinely, authentically want your dream life to look like? And that is going to be your why power. When the why is strong enough, then the how becomes easy. So the next thing that we need to do, now that we've identified what are our goals, we need to do an identity shift. I was at a mastermind over the weekend, and this was one of the most powerful things that I learned. I paid £1,000 to go to a mastermind in London, and there was this speaker. He's called Nero Knowledge. You can look him up on YouTube. Incredible talker. And it really, really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And it was really emphasizing on a principle that you need to identify as the person that you want to become in order to become that person. The same way that you pretend to go to sleep in order to actually go to sleep. So if your goal is to make 10k a month in the next 5 years, then you need to start operating as a 10k a month individual. You need to think of yourself as someone that already makes 10k a month. And it's like, how would I act on a day-to-day basis if I was that guy? If I was a successful 23-year-old entrepreneur, how would I act on a day-to-day basis? Well, I probably wouldn't play video games, that's for sure. Probably wouldn't waste my time like some cunty little virgin 23-year-old sat there on PS4. That's not how I'm going to operate. I'm going to be the big dog. Of course, I'm going to be waking up early and I'm going to be on my grind. Of course, I'm not bloody watching Nico or Milano when I'm eating my breakfast. I'm going to be listening to Alex Hormozy. Like, think of all of the habits that a successful person in your position would be doing, and start doing those things. Start living your life as if you'd already achieved the things that you want to achieve. There's a saying. It goes, "Dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have." And I think that's so powerful, because it is literally all about having the identity of the person that you want to become. The next step from here, now that we know, okay, well, this is the goal and this is who I need to be. Now it's as simple as literally just making a list of all of the bad habits in your life that are holding you back and switching them for good habits. So I know firsthand that when I was 19, the things that were holding me back specifically were YouTube and video games and drinking. Actually, I almost forgot about that one. YouTube, video games, and drinking. Those were the three biggest things that were holding me back in life, because that's all I would spend my free time doing. I'd get back from Amazon, I was doing one of those three things. I was either watching YouTube videos, I'd never had TikTok, that was never a problem. I was never a scroller. But I was watching, FaZe Clan videos or YouTube videos of like people playing video games or some shit. And playing video games would take up a big part of my life. And it's like, I know none of these things served me. And I was going out drinking with my little dickhead mates. None of these things served me. None of these things were helping me escape my situation, leave the job that I hated, and actually go on to becoming the man that I was supposed to be. So what I had to do is I had to make a list of these. I need to write these habits down. And I needed to find a way to replace them for good habits. Things that were going to make me better. So, video games. The first thing that I recommend doing, if you want to get rid of a bad habit and make sure that you don't relapse and go back to doing that bad habit, is you need to make the bad habit difficult to do. So I wanted to replace playing video games. So the first thing that I did was I gave my TV away for free. I just gave it away. I gave that shit away. I gave away my TV, and I also had a laptop which I'd play video games on. I'd have my PS4, I'd have my laptop. So I went on my laptop, I deleted all my accounts. I deleted my drivers. I deleted my Steam account. I deleted all of my games so that I just didn't have them anymore. And if you're not willing to make that commitment to yourself, then you're just not ready to do anything with your life. Just keep being a fucking loser. That's fine. But that's what you had to do. Is I had to go through that initiation. I had to make the habit difficult. Now that I don't have a TV or Steam or any video games downloaded, the amount of effort that it would take me to actually get back into playing video games is like I probably just wouldn't do. I'd probably quit halfway through going through the process. So I've made the habit difficult. And now I needed something to replace the habit with. Okay, well, I've been spending so much time playing video games. Well, what now? What do I do with my life? I decided, okay, I'm just going to spend all of the time that I was doing playing video games doing one of two things. I'm either going to go to the gym or I'm going to read books. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to read books and go to the gym, because I know that this habit is a lot better than this habit. This habit's going to propel me a lot further forward than this one. So why not? Over time, the crazy thing is as well, you actually learn to love the good habits even more than you love the bad ones. It's crazy. You feel like you start to enjoy your life so much more, and you're doing things that are propelling you forward towards your goals. I started to really love reading books. I was reading one book every single week. I was reading 50 pages every single day. I was going to the gym every single day. My physique started to get better. I started to look better in the mirror, and I was like, yeah, I'm loving my life right now. I'm starting to read all of these books. I started making money through my side hustle. I got into appointment setting. I started to I made my first 1.5k in 5 days. I was like, yes, my reading's paying off. All of these sales books that I'm reading, all of these books from Hormozy and Alex Becker and Jordan Belfort, they're all starting to pay off finally. So I replaced the bad habit for a good habit. Now what's the next one? Okay, drinking with my mates on a weekend. Okay, I'm just going to replace drinking with my mates on a weekend for spending time with my family. Spending time with my family who care about me a lot more than my little cunty mates that only cared about getting on a sesh. Like, spending time with my family, spending time with my friends, quality time with quality people, playing cards, playing board games, going on a walk, going to do things with my actual family, real life dopamine. Because the goal is not just to make a load of money, the goal is to make money with people that I love and care about. and being able to enjoy it with them and actually have a high functioning family. Family is going to be one of those things in 5 years where functioning family is going to be more rare than a bloody Lamborghini. We all like Lamborghinis right now because it's rare, because it's a symbol of status, because it's what other men can't get. It's going to get to a point in the world where family is going to be even more rare than that. And that's going to be the thing that people look up to. It's not going to be cars anymore. It's just going to be family. It's so easy to get rich in the modern day with all of the tools that we've got access to and all of the information that we've got access to. That family is the thing that is struggling right now. So family. Instead of going out with my mates, I just spend time with my family. And then the last one, watching YouTube videos. Well, I still watch YouTube videos to this day, but I just changed all of the YouTube videos that I watched from non-productive entertainment videos to productive videos that are going to accelerate me forward. And it's funny because the same amount of pleasure that I used to get back in the day from watching I don't know, Beta Squad or something is the same amount of enjoyment that I get today from sitting there on a Friday night and just sitting there watching Alex Hormozy on my TV. Like, genuinely, that's the amount of enjoyment that I get. And that is the whole principle of doing this. As you cut out everything, and this is the next takeaway, you have to be willing to cut out everything. You have to be willing to go all or nothing towards your goals, otherwise you're not going to achieve everything. You're competing against every other person that has the same goals as you. If you're not willing to go all in, balls deep, you're never going to win against that guy. So what you need to be willing to do is you need to be willing to sacrifice everything that doesn't accelerate you towards your goals. And once you do that, you're putting your brain, this little crackhead fiend, dopamine fiend in our brain, we're putting our brain in a position now where, okay, well, our brain's got to eat. A crackhead needs crack. And he ain't getting no crack from the video games anymore, or the bad habits, or the TV, or the alcohol, or the club, or the hose. He ain't getting dopamine from that anymore. So he needs a way to find more dopamine. And now your brain is going to switch itself on and give you so much motivation, so much drive, to the point where you are excited to sit down and read your book. Because your brain now knows that that's the only source of dopamine that it can get. And it's going to be way more fulfilling. You're going to accelerate way faster. And you're going to start to really love your life more and be a lot more present in the moment. But you have to have an all or nothing mentality. Something that I always say to my Alpha Setter boys, which is in my community of Alpha Setters, where I'm training them to make money through online sales. One thing that I always say to them is like, it's do or die time now. In order to become a weapon, in order to become the top 1% of the top 1%, is you have to treat it as it is do or die. My goals mean so much to me that I will sacrifice whatever. I will do whatever it takes. I will never even think about video games again in my life if it means that I get to retire my mother and achieve all of my goals. That's the mentality that you have to have. But if you follow this dopamine protocol, first you understand your why. Then you make the identity shift. You identify as the person that's making the money that you want to make. Then you make a list of all of your habits, your bad ones, and you replace them with good habits. You make your bad habits as difficult as possible. If you need to stop stuffing your face with chocolate, then don't allow chocolate into your household. Don't go to the shop. Don't even put yourself in a supermarket. Order your food online on a set day to your house to the point where you don't even see chocolate anymore. You swap out your bad habits for good habits. Next, the next thing that I would recommend doing is setting yourself daily objectives every single day. And this is another way that you're going to get the dopamine system on your team. When you set yourself objectives every single day, what happens is you're going to start to get dopamine from ticking off your objectives every single day. So for example, it's like what I like to do is I like to set like these little tick boxes next to my objectives. I'll do this every day before I go to bed. Little tick boxes. And then as the day goes on, I'm not allowed to go to sleep until all of these are done. As the day goes on, it's like, oh cool, I've just recorded a YouTube video, sound, and I'll tick that thing off, and I'll get a little dopamine boost from ticking it off because I'm making progress towards my daily goals. So daily objectives, and this is how you track your progress. This will make sure that you're making the most out of every single day. And if you do this every day for the next 5 years, I promise you, your life's going to look a lot better. That's for damn sure. 5 years of doing that every day, whew, you're killing it, mate. But the problem is most people don't commit to it. And then that takes us to the last takeaway, which is you've got to be all in. You've got to commit to it. You've got to be willing to do that, like genuinely. Like, not a day has gone by where I've not completed my daily objectives for the day. So Some days I'll be up until like 4 o'clock in the morning because I overestimated what I was going to achieve tomorrow. But oh well, it's part of the game. I'll learn my lesson. At least I've got a lot more done today than most people would do in a week, right? So you just got to be all or nothing. You got to have that all or nothing mentality because it's going to be the only way that you're going to compete against everyone else that has got the same goals as you. Especially if you're in my industry, especially if you work in online sales, you're making money remotely as an appointment setter. It's like, well, everyone wants to make money online. So how are you going to compete with those people that have got the same goals as you? How are you going to do better than them every single day? You have to go all in. So I hope this helped, boys. Subscribe for more content like this. If you are interested in getting into online sales, the path of the free man, then click the link below this video. I've got a full 6.5 hour free course that's going to teach you exactly step by step how to make money online through online sales. It's just another YouTube video. You're not going to have to sign up to anything, put a credit card in anything. It's just a completely free 6.5 hour YouTube video that I definitely recommend you check out, boys. Hope this helped. And as always, keep grinding.